Can you get walkable lifestyle, access to one of the most popular hiking spots, a home on a greenbelt, maybe even golf course views, all while you have amazing access to light rail and quick access to I-25? Yep, it can be had. Hey everybody, it's Alyson Wahl with Live South Denver, your real estate strategist and realtor for the South Denver area. All of this goodness and more can be found in Lone Tree, so we are going to start a deep dive into Lone Tree and look at the little neighborhoods and all the cool little areas, because maybe you want to make this your home. So you may have been eyeballing Lone Tree here on the map just while I've been chatting. You can see that it is totally split by I-25. That is part of what makes the access to I-25 so darn good. Lone Tree shares that in common with Castle Rock because I-25 splits Castle Rock in half as well. One of the key differences is, though, Lone Tree is much smaller than Castle Rock. And Lone Tree has done a lot of planning to situate themselves differently than Castle Rock has. Castle Rock gets a little bottlenecked. They do have the outlets too, which is a total game changer in terms of traffic in and around that area. But Lone Tree has done long-term planning to have light rail, which it ends in Lone Tree. Right now it does not go farther. Maybe someday it will. But just the whole city planning for Lone Tree and their goal to make the areas around I-25 and light rail walkable, which is the Ridgegate area, is just something that has made Lone Tree unique and quite the draw. In fact, it's part of how and why they got the Charles Schwab Denver headquarters in Lone Tree, because of the walkability, because of their forward thinking, because of light rail access. So it really is a kudos to Lone Tree for their forward thinking and how they've been developing themselves. Lone Tree is a full-fledged town. That means they have a mayor, they have their own police force, they definitely have their own set of taxes. Lone Tree is also served by the South Suburban Parks and Recs District. There are at least a dozen parks spread across the small 10 square miles that makes up Lone Tree. The Parks and Recs District also, that is a tongue twister. I don't think I'm quite saying that right as I try to say it quickly, but the Parks and Rec District also is taking care of one outdoor pool in Lone Tree, as well as the rec center in Lone Tree, which includes a couple of indoor pools, some fitness facilities, and several types of sport courts. So we're talking pickleball, basketball, all the good stuff. Now, a favorite part of living in Lone Tree for a lot of people is the beautiful golf course that runs through it. It might surprise you that South Suburban also oversees and takes care of that golf course. It is Lone Tree Golf Club and Hotel. There is a hotel there. They do weddings. They have lots of events and venues. But that golf course runs through so much, but we're going to talk about that, and it really is a centerpiece of the community. Because of this golf course, Lone Tree shares a similarity with Castle Pines in that it draws in kind of an executive level client lifestyle. And so there is, as we're going to see, a little bit higher price point here. And even for those who are not golf lovers, the open space, the views, that really draws people in. And there are a lot of mature trees in here as well. So some of these neighborhoods have just a lot of good privacy, and it feels very Colorado-esque. All right, let's start with the 30,000 foot view of Lone Tree. Homes started to be built in here in the early 80s, and the most recent builds are just in the last couple of years, 2020s. There is a wide variety, wide array, multiple different styles of homes. You'll even see some split levels, some tri-levels, certainly some of those aspects of the 1980s that sometimes are a little quirky, but we're coming around the bend to where some of that stuff is actually stylish and gives the homes some character too. Sizes of homes have a very wide range. We're somewhere around 2,000 square feet on the small end to generally 7,000 square feet on the large end. There are outliers that go up to 11,000 square feet, 12,000 square feet. There are some large homes in here. When we look at homes that were sold just over the last year, the average size is around 3,900 square feet, an average price of $1,025,000. with a median price of just under $900,000 at $890,000. When we're talking about Lone Tree, all the homes in Lone Tree are in zip code 80124, but not all of 80124 is Lone Tree. So let's start looking at this map and we'll talk about what is in Lone Tree and what is not. Okay, so this is a map of Lone Tree done by the city. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more. And this right here is part of 80124. And this is actually some open space and some houses, is part of 80124. But these actually have addresses that say Lone Tree. They are not part of the town of Lone Tree, which means if you were to buy a house in Acres Green, which is up here. Whoops, that was messy. These are some really affordable older homes in the 70s. You wouldn't have town amenities. You wouldn't have a resident rate to the Lone Tree Rec Center, but you would have a home that was probably under $600,000 and great access to C470 and Park Meadows. Down here is MacArthur Ranch, and this is some mega land and homes that are in the multi-million price range with amazing views. And you also are crazy close to all the amenities in Highlands Ranch. Again, you don't have access to those. You're actually unincorporated to any area, aren't part of Lone Tree, aren't part of Highlands Ranch. Same thing with Acres Green. So just wanted to kind of show you those. Now I'm going to erase those because next we are going to look at a high level view of the neighborhoods, kind of areas in Lone Tree before we start our series walking around, talking about the different feel and vibe of these Lone Tree areas. Okay. All right. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit more, give you a better feel for what we're looking at. We're going to start at the top and kind of work our way around the map. This is all kind of the Park Meadows area. For those of you who've been here, this is that amazing retail area, the mall that looks like a ski chalet. So this is all commercial space. Down in here, we have a few condos. Now look at all of this. Literally all of this is an area called Heritage Hills. That entire neighborhood. It is a gated community. And this little section right here is called the Enclave. And it is a 55 plus section of Heritage Hills. And the price points in here, you're running, 1.5. In here, you're running an average price of a little over 900,000 in here. All right, when we come down this way, we get to the walkable area. This is all Ridgegate. All of this in here. Some areas are a little more walkable than others, but this is where you've got the Lone Tree Art Center, you've got Target, you've got Snooze, you've got Sprouts, you've got the library. There is just so much in and around here that if you don't want to walk it, you can bike it. Charles Schwab is over here, Sky Ridge is over here. This area is just full of really dense lifestyle type homes, a lot of condos and townhomes, and single family homes too. So this is just really geared toward all of what I was talking about, where Lone Tree got more forward thinking and is orienting what the future growth is toward walkable living. There is a wide range of prices in here, but average prices over this last year were just shy of $1 million. This little spot right here is Heritage Estates. It is connected to Heritage Hills, but these are 5,000 to 9,000 total square foot homes. They are large homes on larger lots. The median lot size in here is 0.44 acres. So generally these would be kind of the larger homes on the larger lots you would find across all of Lone Tree on average. We're going to come back up. This whole section, this is called the fairways. Makes sense, right? All of this in here is golf course. There's down here too. So that community is all built with a view of the golf course, living the golf course lifestyle. And it is, as you can tell, pretty large space. There are even some townhomes in there. There are some kind of single level living duplex patio home style options in there. There's a lot of variety, some beautiful big homes. It's pretty amazing to think that you could be in that area, golf course living, be in a townhome style opportunity with an average price of just over $600,000. Now, single family home, definitely a different story, but that's a pretty amazing price point in there. We kind of marked over it, but right here, This is called Taos. And they do have a bit of a New Mexico style. These are another set of townhomes. They're large, 2,000 to 2,600 square feet generally, running in roughly the $600,000 range on average for a 2,200 square foot average size. But the range is wide, $440,000 on the low end, $640,000 on the high end. It's going to depend on location. Is it backing up close to the park that's over this way? Do you have some views? That kind of thing. All right, we have two more sections. This whole section here is just called Lone Tree. All the houses in there. There's a couple smaller neighborhoods that have sub names, but everything in there is Lone Tree. You can see there are golf course views. There's some open space views. There is just a lot of variety types of homes. You can see in here, we've got some cul-de-sacs. I got to talk about this right here. This is a run of power lines. So something to watch for those of you who do not want to live near them. And they are not, as I always talk about, they are not just some wooden poles stringing some small power lines. These are the mega ones. So I never recommend it for resale. Some people don't mind, but that is a run of big power lines right there. Average prices in here are less than $1 million. But if you are on the golf course, all bets are off for that. And then down here, we have Carriage Club and Carriage Club Estates. This section is the Estates area. This is Carriage Club. Now, lot sizes are pretty similar in here for either one of the areas, but the difference between sold prices on average between the two, at least for this last year, was $200,000, with this one being the one that was more. You are generally getting a bit larger home down in the Estates than you are in Carriage Club. I just had a listing in Carriage Club. It was a gorgeous home. My folks didn't even live there very long, put in a minor amount of work and really spruced it up so much. These are stately homes on nice lots, good cul-de-sacs and looping streets. I always point this out to my folks. Look for neighborhoods that have a lot of this going on, because it means you'll have really nice lots. They won't have a lot of eye to eye to your neighbor. You'll have good sized lots if you're on the right side of the curve. Big plus. The reason the estate sells for so much more is all of this. Almost everybody's got some good views, especially when you've got houses that may be staggered off of one another and you can see past your neighbor if you're on an interior lot to all of these views. Bluffs Regional Park in here, a lot of elevation. So we've got some peaks. I know I'm drawing right over myself, right? But that is the popular hiking spot I was talking about at the intro to the video. In fact, our teenager went every night with her friends and hiked that and watched the sunset. It is incredibly popular for getting a great cardio workout. You can also just take your time and stroll parts of it. So there is a lot to see, a lot of terrain. It's really beautiful in here. All right, we have to go over here. Don't want to leave this out. I'm going to shrink this down a little bit. All of this is also Ridgegate. It's just under construction. This is where Lyric is. I've done some videos on that. So Lyric is going to be kind of down in here. There's a lot of construction to fill that up. That's going to be village number 1. They plan to have 4 villages. So over here will be 2. I'm not sure how they're going to divide up these to make villages 3 and 4. This is a long play. They're talking about not filling these out for, they've said 50 years. That seems a little long because this is not a large quantity of homes. I certainly know they will not fill in all of this space before 2050, maybe even longer. Okay, so that gives you a good rundown of how Lone Tree is laid out, what is what. We're going to dig into those different areas, actually based more on lifestyle. So we're going to talk about the walkable lifestyle areas. We're going to put Ridgegate in there, make sure you're focused on what does feel feasible to do walkable lifestyle. We're going to talk about gated and golf course lifestyle. And then we're going to talk about areas that have a lot of open space, that have more of that open feel. There may be some areas that get left out. I cannot cover everything, but I really want to give you a taste and a feel for Lone Tree. So that's what's coming up next. Now, before we leave, I do want to give you just a little taste of what the homes in Lone Tree look like. Does it fit for you? Do you want to catch up on those next videos? So let's take a peek across several price points in the neighborhood and just see, what do you think? Okay, so this one is a townhouse on the golf course. We are under $700,000. Take a look at some of these photos. I mean, that is not a shabby view, guys. And it is a well-kept home. This is not a fixer. We've got clean white cabinetry, a vent hood, makes some nice cooking easy. Maybe you might want to update the appliances. Not everyone loves a black fridge, but we have hard surface floors throughout, good size rooms, a more modern bathroom than you might see in many other places. The stair treads are wood. I mean, this is a really good looking place. And it's been on the market for a little bit. So if you're in the hunt, there might even be a deal to be had. All right, this one. This beauty is in the Ridgegate area. This is in the walkable neighborhood. These brownstone styles have so much character, and the location is absolutely second to none. Again, we've got wood floors. We've got stonework on the fireplace to the ceiling. A nice clean unit, nice neutral palettes. Not everyone loves brown cabinetry. That is paintable if you don't. However, the wood look is coming back into style. That gray and white palette everywhere is a little bit on the stale side for many people. There are ways to work around it without painting that wood if you are okay with it. Look at that deck out in your back patio. So you've got an outdoor space that is all yours. And you are right, this is part of the bluffs. You are right up against this open space where you can go hiking, as well as being right up against, Target and shopping and food. So really great location. All that, we are under 700,000 here as well. All right, next. We've got a single family home right at $800,000 that is going through a price cut, which means you can probably get it for under $8 right now. 3-car garage, hard surface floors, neutral paint, beautiful color on the front doors, the shutters. This house is very move-in ready. Nice open flow, nothing too funky going on. I mean, most houses need some customization for taste. We have white cabinetry, stainless steel appliances, great light along the back wall. Even have some open rail up here. Again, hard surface floors, updated bath here, vaulted ceiling, updated primary bath with hard surface floors in there as well. A basement that is looking good. That is not shabbily done. That's always a plus. All right, moving up in price point, we are in Heritage Hills. That's a beautiful shot, nice sunset. Again, look at all this. We're under 1.4. Just want to give you a sample across price points. Look at that kitchen. That is a lovely kitchen. They're keeping some of the neutral wood so that it is not a white blank canvas. We have different tones of wood throughout, an updated primary bath. All right, we're going up the scale one more time. You guys ready for this one? How do you feel about this price point at 4.3? But what a stately home. Now, this might bother some people, the lack of privacy in the backyard. That is common in many of the areas in Lone Tree, particularly Heritage Hills, not as much in Heritage Estates. There are some places where you can absolutely get onto open space and have all the privacy you want. So this is not everywhere that you will find that kind of neighbor so close by. Beamwork, that is quite the fireplace. I'm wondering if they imported that thing. Again, beautiful stately kitchen. Certainly some unique touches throughout the home. Tray ceiling, beautiful millwork. Looks like some marble tile on the floors in the bath. Large laundry, custom primary closet. Just really special touches throughout this home. Now, this one again, been on the market for a little bit. So these are just some of the homes I wanted to show you. Look, there is a full price spectrum in Lone Tree and a lot of opportunity for you to pick a lifestyle here. We're going to be diving in with more tours about each area. I'm hoping you'll stick around. If you have questions right now you want to touch base on, always reach out. I love to connect, and I will see y'all next week.